Thanks for watching our late news. Queen Elizabeth, Britain's longest reigning monarch, died today after 70 years on the throne. She was 96. This has been the scene for much of the evening outside Buckingham Palace in London, and mourners are still out in the streets. The Queen died today at her summer residence in Scotland. Members of the royal family rushed to her side after her health took a turn for the worse. Her 73-year-old son Charles now becomes the king. In an ever-changing world, Queen Elizabeth has been a constant for many people. And as the world mourns, we remember the legacy she leaves behind. News Nation's Marnie Hughes tells us about the Queen's life.
Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor. Not exactly born to be queen, at least not at birth, back in 1926. But her uncle's abdication passed the crown to her father, and after his death, Elizabeth ascended to the throne at just 25 years old. The first televised coronation seen around the world in 1953, putting the new queen inside people's homes like no royal before her. Her husband, Philip, kneeling before her, only years earlier at her side for their wedding. Four children together, the first a future king.
And here's really wonderful fairy tale sight. And as they come to Her Majesty the Queen, they will turn. Wales will bow.
Prince Charles and his first wife, another mother to a future king, the rumored source of ill will within the royal family. Princess Diana's tragic death marking a defining moment in Queen Elizabeth's reign as she addressed a grieving world.
So what I say to you now, as your queen and as a grandmother, I say from my heart.
Queen Elizabeth, a fixture on the world stage, meeting nearly every American president since Harry Truman, dancing with Ford, riding horses with Reagan, watching baseball with Bush.
This is a kick for the fans.
Mr. Bond, Your Majesty.
The Queen kicking off the London Olympics in 2012, making 007 himself exercise a little royal patience.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
The longest-serving British monarch ever, marking a milestone after milestone.
It has touched me deeply to see so many thousands of families, neighbors and friends celebrating together.
A diamond jubilee, marking her 60th year on the throne. Even a massive party for her 90th birthday in 2016. Her Majesty Elizabeth II, God save the Queen.
And following a national 10-day period of mourning, the Queen's funeral is expected to be held at Westminster Abbey. Last night, Terre Haute police arrested a man as part of a murder investigation. It followed a days-long search. Richard Sandlin was charged with murder in connection to a shooting that took place on 8th Avenue on Saturday night. Sandlin had his initial court appearance this morning. Will Price was there and has information on how the investigation unfolded.
The sound of a motorcycle approaching, a conversation at the back of the home, and then a single gunshot. Those are the details bystanders told police following the death of Donald Riley, who was shot and killed at a home on 8th Avenue. Witnesses' question eventually picked Richard Sandlin out of a photo lineup, helping police identify him as a person of interest Sunday morning. But the work was far from done. Police spent the next few days working to locate Sandlin and bring him into custody. Monday night, the special response team searched a home on Lafayette Avenue, but they left empty-handed. That wasn't the case Wednesday night, when THPD worked alongside Indiana State Police and the U.S. Marshal's Office, apprehending Sandlin in northern Vigo County and taking him to the county jail. Thursday morning, Sandlin was appointed a public defender, and the judge said he would be held without bail.
The judge said Sandlin's next hearing will be on Monday, September 12th, where dates for further proceedings will be set. We will continue to monitor the case as it progresses. ISU police are investigating 2 reports of rape on campus. According to the daily crime log, the 2 alleged incidents took place in August in Bloomberg Hall and Mills Hall. Both reports were made to campus authorities on Tuesday. Due to the investigation being ongoing, ISU officials declined to comment. One person was killed Wednesday night in a crash on I-70. It happened in Clark County in the eastbound lanes near mile marker 132. Illinois State Police say a semi was parked on the shoulder of I-70 when, for an unknown reason, a second vehicle left the driving lane and struck the rear of the semi. The driver of the second vehicle died at the scene. Their name has not yet been released. A coroner says an Indianapolis man and his 3 young children who were found dead inside a car submerged in a pond died accidentally. The coroner says the man was intoxicated. The bodies of 27-year-old Kyle Mormon and his 3 children were found on July 12th in a pond on Indianapolis' south side. The family went missing after leaving a week prior for a fishing trip at that pond. Indiana State Police still aren't saying why they're searching a portion of the Wabash River near Peru. Those searches started weeks ago after a man who's been tied to the Delphi murder investigation was temporarily taken out of jail by state police detectives. Max Lewis spoke with a retired FBI agent about what he thinks they're looking for.
For 3 weeks now, Indiana State Police have been searching the Wabash River in Peru, but won't say what they're looking for or why they're there. We witnessed them once again wading through the shallow waters and using metal detectors to search the riverbed.
Metal detector guy all of a sudden alerts to something. A couple guys kind of move over there and then start examining that spot. And then if they don't find it, he goes back over that same spot and kind of pinpoints it a little bit closer.
State police initially started the search sort of in the area just right here where we are now. But the search has since moved a little bit farther downstream, and they still seem to be focusing on the north side of the river. Crews were also seen clearing brush and branches on both sides of the Wabash near the search area.
The fact that they've been out there for 3 weeks, which is a lot of manpower, a lot of time, you would suspect that they're looking for something very important.
The search area is just 2 miles from the former home of Kegan Kline, who has been tied to the Delphi murder investigation. Court filings reveal that state police temporarily took Kline out of jail last month, where he's awaiting trial on unrelated charges. Shortly after that, the searches began, and retired FBI Special Agent Paul Keenan says that's no coincidence.
There's got to be a reason that you have to take him out of jail. You don't just interview somebody, you can interview him in jail. So more than likely, he needed to be out to show them something that he couldn't describe from prison.
Keenan said the teams are likely doing grid searches and expanding the area as they come up empty-handed. He says he hopes they find the answers they need, but it won't be easy.
But it's difficult after 5 years to find something in a river with a current that's pushing it for 5 years.
Now, it's important to note that Kline has not been charged in the killings of Abby Williams and Libby German. It's not clear how long Indiana State Police will continue that search of the river. A new vehicle hitting the road will bring health care training to rural communities. Today, the Rural Health Initiative Collaborative unveiled its new mobile simulation unit. It was purchased thanks to a $50,000 grant from Union Health Foundation. The unit has medical training equipment and replaces an older simulation unit that was used from 2015 to 2021. The unit will travel to rural areas across Indiana to offer training to healthcare professionals. The unit will also be used to train healthcare students and will be used for outreach projects on a variety of health topics. Idle Creek Golf Course added a new outdoor and indoor venue called The Garage. Community members gathered tonight in celebration with a ribbon cutting. This new venue features a 7-by-12-foot TV for sporting events, a bar, and food. It will also be open to the public, and the venue will be available for rent. Owner Rick Jenkins says he's grateful for the community's support.
Feels like we're able to give back to the Terre Haute community. They've been really good to us in the building industry for the last 50-plus years.
I think it's going to be a great addition to the community and for our residents out here as well. But we want everybody from all the surrounding area to come out and see it, and hopefully they'll join us.
And tonight, as you can see, a lot of people enjoy the facility while watching the Rams and the Bills on Thursday night football. Well, coming up after the break.
Medical supplies is just like groceries or anything else. It's going up.
Yeah, the rise in the cost of medical supplies could be to blame for an increase in local ambulance services. Later in sports, another North-South tennis showdown tonight at Uptown, where the Patriots and the Braves battled until the final set. Grant has those highlights in just a few minutes.
Your news now on WTWO with Mike Tank, Chief Meteorologist Jesse Walker.